Markets are on edge today. Here's President Trump sending a message to Iran. Remember when I gave Iran 10 days to make a deal to open up the Hormuz Strait? Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. Glory be to God, President Trump. Oil is over $110 a barrel. The Middle East is heating up. And while everyone is watching the headlines, there's a small defense tech company that is quietly getting more dangerous and almost nobody is paying attention. That is Ondas, ONDS stock ticker. It's at $9.52 for the day, down almost 0.83%. So let's start with what's going on, because this is what's driving everything right now over the last 24 hours. The U.S. fighter jet got shot down in Iran. Tensions in the Middle East have escalated. We're seeing increased pressure around Iran. Threats tied to oil infrastructure and a growing risk around the Strait of Hormuz. And as you can see, oil right now is sitting at $110, $112 per barrel. It's a massive move in a short period of time. This is a fear of supply disruption. And when oil spikes, it puts pressure on everything. Inflation, markets, global stability. So follow the money. So let's go to what's going on in the market today. As the Dow is slightly up the 0.36%. The Nasdaq is at 0.54%. The S&P 500 is at 0.44%. So don't confuse that with strength, though. This is hesitation as markets are trying to figure out, is this contained or is this a start of something bigger? So let's look at the stocks. And when the world starts to get unstable, money moves fast into a few areas. Defense, energy, infrastructure, autonomous systems. And most investors, they chase the obvious names. Lockheed, Raytheon, Northrop. But the biggest winners are usually the ones nobody's watching yet. And this is where ONDS comes in, Ondas, because Ondas sits right at the center of this shift. Ondas. Drone systems, airspace security, autonomous infrastructure, defense industrial crossover. In a world where shipping lanes are at risk, oil routes are vulnerable, and governments are increasing defense spending, these systems become critical. Not optional, they are critical. Now here's where it gets interesting, because a lot of people are asking, how many contracts is ONDS going to get? And that's actually the wrong question. ONDS doesn't need a lot of contracts. They need a few big contracts. Right now, they already have multiple active programs. A $20 million border security deployment. Here you can see they got a $20 million border security deployment, and what it's going to do is they have an order to build AI-driven autonomous border protection architecture for a national government. This plan is a multi-year effort involving thousands of drones and advanced systems for national border security. Ondas also announced a $10 million investment in partnership with Worldview Enterprises to combine stratospheric balloon platforms with autonomy technology for defense infrastructure bases. They also got a $15 million demining contract in Israel. Ondas Foreign Defense wins a tender for a large-scale border demining project in Israel. Contract is part of the Israelis' $1.7 billion Eastern Border Security Barrier Initiative, a multi-phase national initiative led by Israel's Defense Ministry. So this is between the border of Israel and Jordan. The 4M Defense has won a competitive tender for a large-scale demining project along a strategic border region in Israel on the east side. Demining is the detection and removal, destruction of landmines and unexploded ordnance to make land safe for civilian use. The award is expected to generate more than $50 million in near-term and follow-on orders. The project forms part of a $1.7 billion Eastern Border Security Barrier, a multi-phase national initiative led by Israel's Defense Ministry to upgrade approximately 500 kilometers of the country's border. They also have gotten a contract in the Asia Pacific. Here's the CEO, Eric Brock, talking about the situation.
Now, Ondas just landed a new contract with a government defense client in the Asia Pacific region, as President Trump did hold a call with China's President Xi Jinping today, where the Chinese leader warned Trump about arms sales to Taiwan. I want to bring in Ondas founder and CEO Eric Brock. Eric, thank you so much for being here. What can you tell us about this deal in the Asia Pacific?
Yeah, sure. And firstly, thank you for having me, Cheryl. So this deal in the Asia Pacific is in and around our autonomous systems. I can't speak specifically to the customer and where we're deploying this, but we're bringing our capabilities. This one happens to be in and around counter-drone technologies and some of our aerial platforms around ISR.
Are you more...
So this is Eric Brock also talking about the backlog of 2025 and how they have $65 million in their backlog.
Yeah, so the backlog that we ended last year with grew substantially, but at the same time, we've seen a strong order cadence in Q1, and I think that's going to persist. So that's going to add to the backlog. And of course, we've made some significant acquisitions, so we've grown our portfolio. And I think we were quite clear on the call that the backlog would grow significantly in Q1, and we weren't able to because Q1's not over to give you that number, and a lot of it depends on how and when we close these deals that are pending, the definitive agreements we have, but we think most of them do come in probably early in Q2, so we'll be able to talk about a backlog that's at least multiples of what we ended 2025 in with, and that really gives us tremendous visibility for the year. The bulk of the
So now they have access to billions of potential defense contracts. That's the shift. They went from a small player to being positioned for major contracts, and the market hasn't fully priced that in yet. So now the real question becomes, if ONDS lands one major contract in this environment, does this stay a small cap stock or does it reprice fast? Now, let's be real for a second because this matters. This is not a guarantee. ONDS still needs execution, follow through, more contracts, and if they deliver. Or if they don't deliver, this goes nowhere. But if they do, this is exactly how asymmetric opportunities are created. So I'll leave you with this. The biggest winners in the market always look quiet, right before they move. And is ONDS early, or is it just another story stock? Let me know in the content. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. And please subscribe and like the video. Thanks.